So I've now equipped all of the enemies with their own weapons, so let's just take a quick look. Enemy 2 is carrying the knife. As you can see, the knife is there. As I open this up and I click on the knife, you will see that the layer is actually set to default for the weapon. Just ensure that the weapon is also set to enemies, and that way these blue lights will illuminate the weapon and your flashlight will not illuminate it, so that it gives the character a harmony. You don't want their weapon to be really well illuminated and the actual enemy themselves not. It looks really unusual. Okay, so the knife, I changed the scale slightly. I think I've changed it down to about 0.3 in order for it to match. Okay, and just arranged it within the hand, just so that it fits nicely there. So that's enemy number 2. Enemy number 3 is carrying a baseball bat. Now it actually looks really small in this character's hand because he's obviously quite big. It should be a relatively good baseball bat. If you need to make it bigger, then feel free to do so. Once again, just click on the baseball bat and change its layer to enemies. Now because this has got a number of LODs, level of detail groups, click yes to change all the children. And this scale I changed it different on the X and Y. The X and Y is roughly about 0.6 and on the Y it was 1.02. Okay, so I've made the Y actually longer, so it sort of stretches it a little bit, so it looks more like a traditional kind of baseball bat. So that's enemy 3. Enemy 4 is once again carrying the baseball bat. This time it looks a little better on this character. Okay, because he's not quite as big. Once again, just change this to enemies. Yes, change children. Enemy 5 has got knife again. Okay, so change that to enemies. And then finally for enemy 6, you'll see that he is holding the gun. Let's change this to enemies. Yes, change all the children. Okay, and you'll see that this has actually got a simple shoot script. Let's disable that for now while we're testing. Okay, so the weapon should be pointed like this, perpendicular to the hand. Just ensure that this finger is roughly in the right place so that you can actually grab the trigger. Okay, we may need to do a little bit of texture change or material change on some of these weapons later. But for now, we need this character to have a slightly different animation to the other characters. So if we click on the Horror Fuse character to the prefabs, maybe not prefabs, animations, we have something set up here whereby it's walking with axe and looking around with axe. We need the with gun one now. We can actually create as many animation controllers as we need. Alright, so we're going to create a new one. In fact, actually no, sorry, I'm going to duplicate this one because it will make it easier because this already has the parameter in place. So edit and duplicate. Alright, but you can easily create a new one just by right clicking create and animator controller. You can make as many as you like. So let's call this one, let's rename it to enemies with gun. Okay, so we know what it is. And in fact, let's rename this one so that we know what this is. Enemies with axe. I've just called it axe because obviously all of those types of weapons are the same. So enemies with gun, let's just open this one. Now these animations need changing out, so I'm actually just going to delete this one and delete this one. Just press delete to get rid of it. Double click on with gun. So first of all we need walking with gun, and then we need let's do an idle with gun instead of a looking around this time. let's drag this one in here. Let's just make sure that we change our speed to about 0.6, should be good. And we need to make a transition to idle with gun, and we need to make a transition coming back again. This transition going from walking to idle, we need to set a condition. State is equal to 1. Okay, and then obviously the condition coming back, create a condition, state is equal to 0. Alright, nice, that is set up. Now we just need to find our enemy 6, and instead of enemies with axe, we can now drag enemies with gun into there. So now he's being controlled by the gun animation. You can create as many animator controllers as you like, but you can only assign one controller to a character at any one time. Okay, so I think in the next video we might actually test this out, so I might do a walkthrough and we'll see how the whole randomization thing works.